Talofa lava, everyone, and good evening. My name is Falafia Jr. Brandon Fuamatu. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a proud male presenting Fapafinye here working at UTOPIA Washington as the Events and Productions Manager. Tonight at Tugu After Dark, it is our premiere episode for the season. But before we start, I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. Utopia Washington and myself, we live, work, and play here on the unceded lands of the indigenous people of the Coast. Talafalava, everyone, and good evening. My name is Falafia Jr. Brandon Fuamatu. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a proud male presenting Papauta here working at UTOPIA Washington as the Events and Productions Manager. Tonight at Tugu After Dark, it is our premiere episode for the season. But before we start, I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. UTOPIA Washington and myself, we live, work, and play here on the unceded lands of the indigenous people of the Koselich tribes and nation, the people of the Duwamish, Muckleshoot, and Puyallup tribes. It is not just important to acknowledge, but also to help in supporting and helping to give resource to these people. And you can do so by finding out what native lands you are on and how you can help the first indigenous people of those areas by going to native-land.ca. That's native-land.ca. Tugu After Dark is UTOPIA Washington's up-and-coming digital late-night talk show. It is our first talk show that's going to happen a little later than usual for the talk shows that we've had in the past, where we just spill the tea and get to know some of our amazing QTPIs, our queer and trans Pacific Islander siblings and cousins. Cousins specifically because tonight's guest is my actual cousin. The concept of Tugu After Dark has its roots deep in the history of late-night gatherings among the Fa'afafine community to tell stories and share in their lived experiences. I am so excited to have our first guest of the season, Kiki Rivera. Born and raised in Lualole, Oahu, Hawaii, Kiki works and plays within the intersections of culture and arts in Oceania, theater, activism, education, poetry, and playwriting. They are passionate about capacity building for all Indigenous artists and nurturing the growth of future Pacifica creators. They hold a BA in theater and an MFA in playwriting from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and is also a member of the 2018 Art Equity Cohort. Their original plays include Fa'alavelave, The Interruption. Published plays include Puzi, featuring award-winning New Zealand playwright Victor Roger, found in the anthology Samoan Queer Lives. To Our Black and Brown Babies of Oceans and Islands in the anthology We're Not Neutral, and Kumukukui in Lighting the Way, an anthology of short plays about the climate crisis. Kiki currently works as a storyteller with Empowering Pacific Islander Communities, aka EPIC, in California. And without further ado, here's our first guest of Tugu After Dark, Kiki Rivera. Hello, yeah.
Hello, cousin.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. We're about to start our session, so I'm just excited because we do this for free, so we might as well do it for the people.
Cheers.
Amen. Cheers to that. Yes.
Yes. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
And what?
Congratulations to you, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
I just came back from Utah, from Salt Lake City, Utah, where we did Masters of the Currents, produced by Theater Productions.
Okay.
It's a touring show. We were first in LA in October, and we did 4 shows in Salt Lake City, which I thought was going to be like, Salt Lake City.
Right.
Super red, and it was red. It was like COVID red.
Oh.
But we had the time of our lives.
Yeah.
And they were such gracious, generous hosts. And Utah Presents over at the University of Utah. And it was a blast. We even got to perform for Mana Academy.
Right. That's the PI school.
Yes.
Pacific Islander students, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, awesome. So, I mean, we've obviously talked about this because I follow everything you do. But what is Masters of the Current?
Masters of the Current is one of the very first productions about live productions about the Micronesian experience in the U.S., Hawaii specifically. It tells the
Okay.
specific story. It follows the specific story of three Micronesian teams in Hawaii that kind of navigate identity and culture and all the things that happen in as a Micronesian in Hawaii.
Hmm.
And we haven't been good hosts. Let's just be honest. And that's what that whole play is about the struggle and how real it is for them and what their experience is like
Right.
adjusting.
Right. And I mean, so we both have history with Hawaii, having grown up there.
Mm.
And so I definitely understand and know what you mean by the mistreatment of Micronesian people, especially in Hawaii, both by our own Pacific Islander community, but also the general public. And so um, we family. So I know you're not Micronesian.
I'm not, but I play
So
one.
yes, you do. Who's the character you play?
So my character, her name is Tinana. She's the matriarch,
Hmm.
and it's really a comment on how the matriarchs and how the elders of the community are almost silenced because it's a new land and we don't hear from them much. So I don't. So Tinana doesn't speak much, but
Hmm.
she is the matriarch. She's the person that starts the entire show. The show doesn't start until Tinana gives permission. I was really on the fence about playing a Chuki's character.
Of course.
And I wouldn't have done it unless I had permission from Mama Inocento Sound Kiku, who works with Kokua Kalihi Valley, who is kind of responsible for this entire production.
Hmm.
Um, and she was the person who that was her role. And so when I got approached to do this role, and Leilani, the director, asked me if I could play Tinana, which is at first I was really excited because I love this play. And then when she told me that it's Tinana and it's Mama Ino's role and the whole role is in Chuki's, I was like, is it too late to say no?
Yeah,
Because that's a lot of pressure.
it is.
And
Of
I
course.
have my own feelings
Hmm.
about if there are people who are able and willing to do the part, then they should be the ones that are Chukis, then they should be the ones to be playing the role.
That
Um,
part. I think we both have feelings about
we
that.
have
So I
feelings.
love it. Yeah.
We have feelings about
Hmm.
it. Don't get us wrong, people. We got feelings about it.
Yeah.
And so it was a big decision.
Hmm.
It wasn't a decision made lightly.
Of course. It's so obviously you went in with the support of the community and support of a matriarch in the community who gave you their blessing. But so what was that like, taking on that cultural privilege of being able to learn a new language and a new a very, what am I trying to say? Because like I'll be honest in that, like, I don't know enough about the Micronesian community, as they fall under Pacific Islander, the umbrella. And so what was it like for you to have to journey through all of that?
It was very humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very humbling.
Hmm.
And I think it increased my love for uh, Micronesian people.
Hmm.
Um, because I mean, just talking to Mama and learning about the culture and learning how matriarchal they are and how they're really sticking to and holding on to their culture despite this crazy pandemic.
Hmm.
We talked a lot about we talk a lot about the ocean and about the ulu tree, the breadfruit tree, and how it's like this connection, this web. And when I think about currents and the ocean and how it just weaves us all together, I think in learning about how the Chuukese community has kept in touch and has had their funeral services online and through Zoom. It's really cool seeing how these currents play out. Like there's the physical ocean currents, but then there's like
Right.
the electrical currents through the Zoom
Right.
that
The digital current.
the digital current that ties them together, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There are a lot of crying sessions because it's so emotional. And yeah, that's another thing that is very humbling, is thinking about character and sitting in the space of Tinana and what it's like as a matriarch to hold the pain of your people and carry that, and despite all of that, remain a calm presence. Yeah.
That's wow.
Whew.
That sounds like a journey. So I also, you were originally supposed to like step in for one night, right? And then it turned into an entire.
It turned into the entire tour. And so it's so much fun. It's the entire tour. Without saying too much of why, but it was to help out, and it's been a privilege, an incredible privilege, to be a part of this cast. And it's it's a cast of all Pacific Islanders, with the exception of our other cousin, our Laotian cousin, Olva Saopeng, who's part of Tieta Productions, and so it's and who's from Hawaii too, who has roots in Kalihi. So it's very much a family-oriented play. It's family. It's a family, and it's been amazing being a part of a cast that is a family. And like families, we do all things together. And
so
get into mischief together when we're off stage and on tour.
I love that. Where all throughout the U.S. did you guys go?
Well, because I just jumped on. I just did LA and Utah.
Okay.
Coming up is Hawaii. They're going back to Kennedy Theater at UH Manoa.
Okay.
And I believe Waimea on Mokuokeawe on Hawaii Island.
Oh, wow.
And that's coming up next year. And I think there's some talks of other places, but it really is whoever wants to book us.
Yeah.
You have the money, we have the show.
Hey, come on.
Hey, Washington,
coins out.
looking at you.
For real. Oh, that would be, yeah. And so, which leads me to ask the question. I know you guys would do after show talks. Was there a lot of community that came out to show up for those talks in LA and Utah?
Yes. LA was a huge crowd. It was more than it was battling the traffic, the COVID, I think there was a basketball game that day too. Considering all those things, we managed a really nice sized crowd that stayed for the talkback. And then Utah, there are lots of community members that stayed for the talkback. And it's fun because you get to see all the Islanders.
Yeah.
And that's always nice. And then they tell their stories. Right. So I think there was a guy and his brother out in Utah who's from Kalihi. That's the only irritating part, is that I did all Barrington reps, and I'm from Waianae, and so like.
Okay, but I mean,
your foot, and I'm like,
not that.
Waianae is in the house.
That part. Wait, so I hear that you have a story to tell me about a little adventure that you took during your travels?
Yes.
Let's get into that.
Okay, so it all started off in a hotel room
Mhm.
at the USC hotel because USC hosted us uh,
Okay.
in LA,
Hmm.
and we wanted to get massages because our body hurts and we're falling apart. And
Okay.
so Maxie, who's our stage manager and technical director and lighting god, says, "Oh, you want to get a massage? Have you seen this person?" And it's called Wine and Rubs. And they
Wine and rubs.
Wine and Rubs.
Ooh, okay.
And he specializes in erotic massage. And
Oh,
it looks a little porny,
okay.
but when
Like
you
a lot
look,
of pony or just a little?
it looks a lot of porny. But
Okay.
like I was watching him, yeah,
Hmm.
and he was getting some good spots. Like he was
You were
getting
watching him on
into the
someone else,
good.
or you were watching him
Yes,
in the
on the
mirror on you?
IG, on the IG.
Oh, oh, his IG.
Yes, the
Send
IG.
it, send it to me
I said
after.
the IG.
Yes.
So I was watching. I was like, "Oh!" Both me and Jaceline was like, "Oh, that actually looks pretty good." So they
Okay.
were like, "Okay, Kiki, go book it." And I was like, "What?" There's no harm. And
Hmm.
I'm very Aries. I'm very curious. So I was
Right.
like, okay. And there's a $20 booking fee.
Oh, cheap.
That's the first. Oh no,
Oh
honey, it
no.
doesn't get cheap
Oh.
after that.
Oh. Okay.
And so I book it, and then you have to like schedule a meeting, a virtual meeting. And
Oh,
so I
that's
kind of
safe.
flaked on my first one, honestly, because I was like, oh my gosh, whatever. That's just $20. But then they kept calling back. And so I finally
He
get off the
wanted his
call.
coins.
Hey, this guy get one good hustle. I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's a good hustle because after that first one, you gotta go um into a 1 hour consultation, which is
Mhm.
$100. And so after that, see I'm getting really comfortable because my pigeon is coming out. So
Wait,
after
$100 to talk to this guy?
to talk to this guy, so he can get to know all of your aches and pains and all those things and get you know
Okay.
you, getting to know you.
Yes.
And so I did it. And then at that moment, it's like you're already $120 in. Am I going to lose $120 just for
Hmm.
talking, or am I all in? And so I
Yeah.
went all in.
Amen.
And at first I thought, am I going to be turned out?
For $120, you better get turned out.
No, but like, it seems a little sketchy. But you know what? I really am a firm believer in my guides. And when you sign the contract, it specifically says like there will be no sexual favors. Like you cannot ask for that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I'm trusting. And I
Very
asked him too in the
profesh.
consultation. I asked him about that too, and he was very professional. And when I went, nothing was holding me back. There was nothing stopping me, which and this was where I was going. Um, is I'm a firm believer of my guides. My spirit guides guide and protect me at all times. And they weren't stopping this. So I was like, all right, we're doing this. So I did it. And it was amazing. And like
Okay.
at the same time, he's like pouring all of these affirmations into you and into you. And and at the end, I was like,
Inside.
oh my gosh, I feel so beautiful and like a goddess. Like and the whole time they don't even call you by your name. They call you by queen. Oh yes, queen.
Oh, we love this. Come through
I
affirmations.
love it. And and it really gets into your mind of
Hmm.
self-love and
Yeah.
what it means to really invest in yourself and take care of yourself and love yourself deeply. And that's what you pay for, really.
Right on.
Like that's the special part, because you leave there really with this empowered sense of self and this deep self-love.
Oh my God. I love that.
Yeah. And so that was my experience. All of that came from this tour.
Are you guys hiring or looking for actors?
After watching this show, but all good things come from.
Amen.
But
from helping the community, from putting yourself into the
because you know how you help your community as being part of the community is you help yourself and you take care of yourself and you love yourself, so that's one less person that needs help from somebody else in the community.
Can we get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you. So okay, one last question before we go to break. How do we get these shows into the cities? Where can we go? Who do we contact? Because I know you said they're going to Hawaii, but how do we? Yeah, what do we as Washingtonians need to do? What does all of the West Coast, East Coast, the Midwest need to do?
You visit www.teada.org. You visit the page, and then you peruse the page. And then you find create, and under create, there's book us.
Book us. Okay.
Book us.
Yes. Book them.
And then
that's it.
Have your people get in touch with my people, and we'll make magic.
Oh my! Yes. Come through magic. So okay. So Masters of the Current, everybody. Masters of the Current. We need this show out there. I think specifically because our PI community, it's a lot of times, Kiki and I both know this as Samoans, it's very Polynesian heavy. It's very Samoan heavy. We need to elevate everyone in our community. And this is a play that is like telling a true story, lived experiences of our Micronesian community, specifically the experience in Hawaii. And so I love that so much. Thank you so much for participating in that. Thank you so much for giving your art to our people, to our culture, to. So you said Chuki's. It's a Chuki's character that you played.
Yeah.
Awesome. We love that
character. But then the kids represent all kinds, like Koshrai.
Okay.
Chamorro. All of Micronesia is represented.
All of it. We love that. Okay. Well, we have to go to break. But before we go to break, we will be going. We have unique commercials. So this commercial will be a TikTok break. It's our COVID-19 way of saying, put your mask on, get vaccinated, get those boosters. Presented to you by Serene Tui and Sasha, our very own COVID-19 community care coordinator. So yeah. We'll be back in a few minutes, however many TikToks we want to show, because we have lots. You can find us at TikTok at UTOPIA Wa. Also, our TikToks usually show on our Instagram as well. So yeah, we'll be back.
Are you vaccinated? If so, don't forget to take that vaccination card with you.
You know what she said to me?
Because if you forget it, you'll be outside clubbing like this guy.
Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test within the previous 72 hours are now required to attend large outdoor gatherings and most indoor businesses. If you have misplaced your vaccination card, follow this link and register by ourmobile.com.
She told me she got COVID-19. She can hardly breathe. I told her she should stay back 6 feet. I'm not the one. Wear a mask, spreading germs all around.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this drawer.
I done been block to block in Crocs and socks. Bounce in the whip, cock the block, then drop the top. It's gonna be a long day if you watch the clock. You can either put your hands down or box the chop.
Welcome back. We have our guest Kiki Rivera here. We just talked about the Masters of the Current play that she was in that we need to get out to all of our communities out here. And so let's move on to, I know Kiki, you were telling me that you were working with Epic on it's a digital sort of series, right? Toifo'i?
Yeah, it's a digital series. All of our story circles take place virtually, but then later on, we're gonna weave it into an altar slash exhibit at the Pacific Island Ethnic Art Museum in March.
No, okay. So what is the whole premise of Toifo'i? How did it start?
Is to honor our loved ones that have passed from COVID-19. That's how it started. But
Right.
now it's really just a space where we can honor all of those who have been lost, not just by COVID-19, but also during the pandemic, those who we've lost just during the pandemic, who we couldn't connect with our family members and friends in order to mourn. So it's a place to mourn and to be in community with each other. And really, the main goal is to get people vaccinated, to get our people vaccinated, right? That was the main intention. And it's morphing into this beautiful collective healing project.
Awesome. And so, right, I remember us talking about it and how like you were looking for stories within our community because we're talking about how like storytelling in itself is an art form within our community. It's also just a pillar in how we communicate and how we keep our history alive. And so I love that because it's multi-purpose, right? It serves both our culture, but it also serves in the healing of our community because, yeah, like you said, not only have we lost a lot of our own people to COVID-19, but losing someone during COVID-19 is in itself a unique experience because everything has changed with the process of how we go about planning for funerals, with the process of how we go about attending funerals, not being able to, having to do them digitally. Have you had Toifo'i sessions already?
Yes, we had our first Toifo'i session and actually our second.
It just happened.
One just happened on December 4th.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay.
The first one was led by Melody Turori, and the second one is led by Rowdy Ablau. And so they're all led by a different Pacifica artist. And so it kind of also, I wanted to give Pacifica artists a chance to reclaim their role as healers as well.
Right.
I think, originally that's what we were. And over time,
especially our QTPI.
Especially our QTPI Pacifica artists. And I wanted to think about a way that we can reclaim that space. And so each month, a Pacifica artist leads these story circles. And so far, it's been a very rich, heart-filling, sad, but very rewarding experience.
Do you have artists lined up for the following months to come, or are you still looking?
We got all of our artists. We got Mariquita Davis coming up, JP Jason Pereira, cousin Moni Pili.
Stop, for real?
Yes.
Oh, say less. Oh my gosh. So those of you who don't know, Moni Pili is related to me.
Related to you.
On my mother's side, you related to me on my father's side, but we all family. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, I look up to him. He's amazing. They're amazing. I love it. Okay.
Such a beautiful human being. All of these humans are so beautiful, and we often as artists, as those artists, because we all did a an artist residency at the Pacific Island Ethnic Art Museum. That's how I know a lot of them. So we always have these discussions about healing and about art and about our people and how COVID has affected us. And so they're always very healing. And so I was also thinking about how are ways that we can expand our circle to our community, our greater community.
I love that.
So keep a lookout for that. You can always follow Empowered PI because we always post updates in our upcoming Tuafo'i story circles.
Yeah, okay, definitely. Everyone follow their Instagram. I do see the posts all the time with Tuafo'i. It's on Facebook as well, right? You do the posts on Facebook.
Well.
The links are there. I love that. And unlike Masters of the Current, Tuafo'i is still going, but Masters of the Current, we still can produce it if people want it. Have your people call their people. Speaking of artists, I because it's you, but also like it's something I want to do for all of my guests. Are there folks you want to shout out who feel like need some love, or you feel like could use some spotlight because no one supports our community like our own community?
Yes. So I chose 2 artists. There's so many. We can go on and on. I chose 2. One is a very dear friend, and people think we're twins. And that's Maki'ile Ishihara. You can follow her on IG at Maki'ile, Makiilei.
What do they do?
They are a theater artist.
Okay.
Based out of Hawaii. Works for Honolulu Theater for Youth. Brilliant musician, brilliant actor, writer, just all around such a strong performer that I didn't know about her until one of our other friends told me, "Oh, I really enjoyed watching you in Laie Kawai," which is a play that she was in. And I was in, I think My Name is Gary Cooper at that same time. And I was like, I wasn't in Laie Kawai, but I'm sure that person was amazing.
Yeah.
And so I went to, and I kept getting this review from people. Same comment. And turns out I went to Laie Kawai. I watched her perform, and I was... my jaw dropped because it did.
You were watching yourself. We love that.
Yes. That's a little bit strangely egotistical, but
I was like, "Ooh, I'm good."
I'm good. I was so good that night.
Who is your
speaking Olaloha Hawaii? Like like nothing.
Like you never failed the classes in high school.
I never got a B or something.
And who's your second person?
Oh, and then my second person is a person that I haven't gotten to know, but I've been following their work. They're
suckers, love it.
Been selected for Imagine Native, so they're a filmmaker, and I'm just going to call them they because I don't know their pronouns. The name is Mita To'omalatai, based out of Utah. IG handle is at Mitalatai, Mitalatai. Go follow them.
Yes.
Give them love.
Yes, we love it.
They're artists that we don't often see in the spotlight. So, and that's what we want to do, right?
Yes, yes. Give spotlight to where the spotlight hasn't gone yet. Okay. So we have to wrap it up slowly, but I wanted to do a small game of word association with you because I love your brain and I love the way it works. So I'm just going to throw out some words. You don't have to give me one-word responses, but just whatever comes to mind.
Oh, theater, love it.
Yes, yeah, for all the theater geeks out there, I wasn't one, but I love the games.
Yeah, but
the parties are always...
For those of you who don't know,
what? What do they not know?
Performer.
Who, me? Stop.
Yes. Upper echelons.
Okay, come through. We're tired. Okay. First word, massage.
God. Oil.
Oh, okay. We love that. Second word, artist.
Oh, Pacifica.
Okay. Third word, vaccination.
Vaccination. Best.
Oh, okay. Oh, was there an echo in the room?
I just didn't expect that word to come out.
Oh, okay. Fourth word, travel.
Travel. Utah, because I just came from there.
Okay. And fifth word is QTPI.
Utopia, Washington.
Oh, come through. Okay. Thank you. What a great way to end that. We have one more commercial break before we come back, and I thank you because we have to thank you. But our commercial break this time is brought to you by our very own Vailoa Paliso'o, who also beat this mug. And she is one of our Sway community programs coordinators. And yeah, she has a lot to tell you about our Sway swag bags and how you can help support sex work, because sex work is real work. That part. Yes. All right. So we'll be back soon.
Oh, hi everyone. And boom. Just kidding. That's a little sneak peek. But anyway, hi everybody. I'm Vi. I work at Utopia Washington as one of the program coordinators for our Sex Workers Empowerment Initiative. And for this video, I want to show you guys what our team puts in our sway bags to give out for our street outreach. First up, we got our sway bag. This bag is sponsored by Thrive Cosmetics. And in our bags, you'll usually find masks, hand sanitizer, and condoms, along with plenty of other resources. On our street outreach, we also give out extra items from our Amazon registry for sex workers who typically request other items like hand warmers, hygiene products, and candy. If you'd like to donate or volunteer, contact us at support@utopiawa.org. Thanks, guys.
Yes, Vi, thank you so much for that. I also want to thank Kiki for all of your time, not only to the show and to our first episode being our first guest, our queen, but also for the artistry that you provide for our community. Short little story. I met Kiki watching, was it the, which played Fala Vilave. I went to go watch it randomly. I was like, ooh, a Samoan play like Say Less. I've never seen one before. And I go and I watch, and it's amazing. And then I remember seeing you after the show. I came up to you and I was like, I just want to tell you, I thought that was amazing. Thank you so much for writing that. I don't know you. You don't know me, but thank you. And then we parted ways, right?
Yeah.
And then like a few nights later, I also messaged you again. I was like, just want to tell you that I loved your show. And then we found out we're family. You're like, hey, cousin. I was like, cousin? What do you mean, cousin? And then that show's about our family. I was like, oh, shit. But yeah, it's I don't know. You know, I believe in fate, and I'm glad to have met you that way, and I'm glad that we're in connection. But I'm also just very grateful for all the time that you gave to us tonight. Again, everyone, if you want Masters of the Current in your area, all you have to do is go to where, Kiki?
Tierra.org.
Amen. And then we have Toi Fo'i, which is still happening, and we have sessions all throughout. It's digital, so you have no excuse not to go. It's also free. It's a way to heal. It's a way to see our artists in our community and help them heal you. We'll have all those graphics coming up after at the very end, and we'll also have all of Kiki's social medias, so you can stalk her and email her and call her. No, we just have your IG, Facebook, and professional website because she's a professional. But yeah, again, Kiki, I just wanted to thank you so much for your time. You know, we're obviously going to have tuning sessions in private because we do all the time.
My favorite.
But again, I'm just so grateful that you were here to have our first Tugu After Dark to start it off.
I am so grateful and so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And so, yeah, we'll have the graphics coming up at the very end of the show with all the information of everything we spoke about tonight. Everything except for that massage parlor, because that's private. It's none of your business.
It was not a massage parlor.
I'm a massage professional who does very professional work, who charges $120 before he even touches you. All right. Well, I just want to say again, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Stay tuned for our next episode, where our guest is going to be the very fabulous and funny It's Bigger Ben at It's Bigger Ben on Instagram. But more to come from that. So thank you so much. Thank you, Kiki. And everybody, have a good night. You don't have to go to sleep, but don't get crazy. All right. Bye.